Welcome to the Vine, right here in downtown San Diego, a special community rooted in innovation and growth. I'm Courtney Dwyer. For the next 30 minutes, you're going to learn a lot about what's happening right here at this facility and about Startup Week San Diego. That comes your way on this edition of Cox San Diego Connection. Welcome to this edition of Cox San Diego Connection. Our first guest today is Michelle Gallegos from the Vine, a very special place here in San Diego. Thank you so much for being here with us today. The Vine, tell us about it for those who are unfamiliar with it.
Yeah, well, at the Vine, we provide flexible and collaborative workspaces. The concept evolved in 2012 when we partnered with EvoNexus to open a downtown technology incubator for startups. Out of that grew this cohort of classes that needed a place to go. So if you had a startup, you might be one or two people, and then when you graduate, you don't necessarily want to go work out of a coffee shop or a home. So we ended up finding out we needed to provide space for these new existing companies. So we concepted the Vine, where now we have a full floor donated to EvoNexus, which is our startup incubator. We have another floor of executive suites for smaller businesses, 10,000 square feet for desk rental space for entrepreneurs and startups, and then we have full office suites for regular customers and tenants. So the idea is you can move about the office building at any stage of your business.
For startups, for people who want to get together, collaborate, connect, it's such a good feeling when you're there and you kind of feel the energy around you. Who is this place for besides just startups? I mean, there's people of all walks of life that come to visit the Vine, right?
There are. I mean, we have our more traditional customers like banks and lawyers, but mostly we have about 40% of the startups in downtown San Diego. So we've got a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of founders of technology, a lot of investors roaming around the space. So it's a really fun, collaborative environment to be in where you never know who you're going to run into. What makes this such a perfect fit for San Diego right now? I think what makes the Vine the perfect fit for San Diego is that we're really investing in technology. And what that does is help us retain talent here in San Diego. We have a ton of talent from our universities, and a lot of these students graduate thinking they need to move to the Bay Area or somewhere maybe a little bit sexier for a cool job at Google. But we have really cool startups here in San Diego that are like pushing technology forward, cool spaces to work out of that are Google-esque. So people can stay here and have work-life balance.
And be excited about it.
Exactly.
Too. What do you do exactly? You get to witness all these great things happening around you, but what do you do on a daily basis at the Vine?
Yeah, I'm the community manager, so I wear a lot of different hats. I run the operations of the spaces, but I also invest a lot of my time in the local downtown startup ecosystem. So I'm a part of Startup Week San Diego. I'm an organizer for a ton of events that we host in the community. So we host A Million Cups, which is a national program which has like a Shark Tank-like format.
Oh, how fun.
It's super fun. We have companies come in once a week and they pitch their company, and then we have a panel of investors or more like savvy entrepreneurs that are there to give them feedback on their business. So we host events like that. We host Startup Grind, which is powered by Google. It's a monthly event speaker series where seasoned entrepreneurs come in to give like fireside chats. We also host a ton of meetups, coding meetups in the evening. So if you're wanting to come in and learn coding at night, you could do that. And a lot of networking events. It's all about getting people together, making the right connections. So that's kind of my role. I'm a dot connector.
How fun. Lots of social events. Sounds
a ton
good.
of social events.
Now, the Vine is considered home to EvoNexus. You touched on it a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that for people who are unfamiliar with that.
Yeah, so EvoNexus is a technology incubator. We partnered with them in 2010, and we donate space to them so that they can run their pro bono incubator. What that means is they don't take any equity from the companies that are coming into their program. So if you were a startup and you wanted to maybe start your business, but you really weren't sure exactly what you needed to do, meaning maybe coming up with a marketing plan or how to get funding, you might apply to EvoNexus. So it's kind of like, I think about like applying to college and then going into an incubator where you grow. grow.
Right.
They only admit about 10% of companies, but the great thing is when you're in Evo Nexus, you get access to resources that you normally wouldn't have available. So we have people on the board of Evo that are from Qualcomm and Cisco helping coach these companies along the way so they hit particular milestones, and that the idea is that they can exit and become a successful company and hire talent here in San Diego.
Lots of special attention, I'm sure, while you're in that process.
Yes.
A success story that stands out to you? I'm sure there's quite a bit, and I'm sure you witness success all the time, just being around people with all these bright ideas and startups. But is there something that stands out to you?
Yeah, we do have a ton of success stories, so it's hard to pick, but Origin Code Academy is probably one of my favorite success stories because they came to us on a Friday before they were getting ready to run their first academy and needed a space to hold it. Friday about 3 o'clock, and classes started on Monday, so we provided them with flexible space in our co-working facility so they could hold their 12-week program. And what's been really cool is out of that, he got all the students jobs, and he's grown into his own space. So he's now has about 2,000 square feet of his own, and he's already busting at the seams. He needs more space, and this was just since February of this year.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, that is a success story.
Is.
Anything else that you want to add, Michelle, about the Vine and about what's happening there and here in San Diego?
I think it's really become a hub for connecting not only technology, entrepreneurs, and investors. So, you know, if you're in San Diego and you're looking to start a business, you're not really sure where to go, it's the perfect place to be.
Perfect. Michelle Gallegos, thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
We know you're busy, so we really appreciate it. When we come back, more about Startup Week San Diego. We're back right after this break.
I'm Audra Stafford with Broadway San Diego. The winner of the 2012 Tony Awards for Best Score and Best Choreography, Disney's Newsies, is headed here to the San Diego Civic Theater.
There's change coming once and for all.
Newsies is inspired by the real-life newsboy strike of 1899. Set in New York City at the turn of the century, Newsies is the rousing tale of Jack Kelly, a charismatic newsboy and leader of a ragged band of teenage newsies who dreams only of a better life far from the hardship of the streets.
Look at me, I'm the king of New York. Suddenly, I'm respectable.
But when publishing titans Joseph Pulitzer and William Randolph Hearst raise distribution prices at the newsboy's expense, Jack finds a cause to fight for and rallies newsies from across the city to strike for what's right. The stage version of Newsies introduces 7 brand new songs, while keeping many of the beloved songs from the 1992 film, including Carrying the Banner, Seize the Day, King of New York, and Santa Fe. Disney's Newsies is a high-energy explosion of song and dance you just don't want to miss. For more information, visit BroadwaySD.com.
Welcome back to Cox San Diego Connection. You just heard from Michelle Gallegos. We decided we would move to the heart of the Vine. So here we are. Our next guest today, Bridget Aires, president of Get Smart Web Consulting. Good morning, Bridget. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
Nice to have you in the Vine because this is a place you actually used as a resource to get where you are today, correct?
I did use the Vine. We opened a co-working space up in Carlsbad, and I looked at the Vine, Co-Merge, and other places like it to figure out how to work with small businesses and help the startup community in my area.
Now, your resume, very fascinating. I think it's so neat what you are doing. President of Get Smart Web Consulting. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing every day right now. I know you travel, I know you teach, you've got a lot on your resume. What is it like being you right now? How busy you are, and how exciting it is to be in San Diego at a time like this?
You know, if you were to ask my husband, he would say I am a child, and I am. So I own a creative agency, and we do everything in digital marketing. We get to help people get online and get creative and really connect with people. So it is a lot of fun. And then on top of that, I get to go out and teach with groups like Geek Girl Tech Conference, and it's exciting. I love what I do.
Geek Girl Tech Conference, you got to fill our viewers in. What exactly is that?
Geek Girl Tech Conference is a conference that Leslie Fishlock started about 8 years ago. She started on the East Coast, Boston, Cape Cod area, and it's really about getting women into tech. Men are welcome, so please come on by. We do have some male instructors, but really about coding, tech, digital marketing. If you're good at it, if you've never done it, you can get so much information there. And I've been an instructor for about 4 years now.
Excellent. Geek Girl Tech Con, I want to get a little bit more of the details. Who is this for? What's going to be some of the exciting points and things that people can look forward to this year?
Well, Geek Girl Tech Conference is for everyone, even though it is more of a women's tech conference. We've had kids go to learn coding. I mean, they can learn HTML, CSS, Java, Ruby. They can learn digital marketing. We have all the way up into our beautiful seniors or boomers. You can find business owners, startups, individuals, those looking to get into the tech world, whether coding or marketing. You can find all sorts of people attending, and your instructors are local, and some come in from the East Coast. They teach podcasting, digital marketing, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Facebook Live is going to be a big one now that that's popular. All sorts of different topics that you can just get a little knowledge on or get some advanced knowledge on.
Now, Startup Week San Diego, something that we're talking a lot about today on this program. Your involvement in Startup San Diego, what is it exactly?
I've spoken at Startup San Diego. We've done events for Startup San Diego, and I do love the startup scene here in San Diego. I like the energy. We aren't Silicon Valley, but in my opinion, that's a great thing. Because I think that being a little bit away from it, we can get a little more creative, and we have different style businesses down here. So I have loved being involved in Startup San Diego, talking to people about data, about getting out there, how to get the word out there, and how to innovate, really innovate when you're creating.
There's a quote I saw on your website. It's, "You can't do today's job with yesterday's methods and be in business tomorrow." I love that. It really struck me, and I thought it was really neat. I know you did something totally different 7 years ago before you were where you are today. Tell us a little bit about kind of your motto and your advice to people who are in the startup world in San Diego right now.
When I started my company, I came out of finance, so I came out of the residential and construction lending, and that can be a industry that's very stuck in its ways, and I wanted to innovate when I was there. So part of the reason that quote stuck with me is that sometimes we get comfortable or scared of something new, and really it's just moving so fast, and I think businesses need to realize, and individuals, and that's why I call myself a child, you need to get in there, and you need to know that yes, it might be scary, but we need to see how this tech is going to affect us and our relationship with the consumer or the future consumer. So it's an exciting place to be. Just don't ever get stuck. Get out there and play.
Where do you see education and the way we communicate in the next 5 to 10 years here in San Diego?
Well, because of where I'm at, coding to me should be almost a requirement. Almost everything we have requires code. Almost everybody who works for me has to know a little bit of code. I know we take foreign languages, and to me, coding is almost a foreign language. I mean, it's something that is just there. So I think the way we're going, definitely these cell phones are everywhere. It's instant. If you're watching the F8 conference right now, it's going to be all video and virtual reality or augmented reality if Mark has his way. But so you just need to be really into the tech and definitely look at code. Whether you think you're going into coding or not, have it in your back pocket.
Anything else you want to say today about what you're doing right now and about the excitement surrounding technology here in San Diego?
Well, I think one, I'm very excited because even though we have companies that are coming up, I'm very proud of San Diego. The community at large is very good with tech. I think you need to support the community that's growing up. We definitely want more of these tech companies. Get out there and go to tech conferences like Geek Girl Tech Conference coming up on June 18th. I'm very excited about that. It really builds a community, so whether you're teaching and you want to be with other teachers, or you're at the event and you want to meet other people, that's the way to figure out how the tech is going to affect your business, even if it's not tech, or how to get into that world. So get out there, keep learning, and keep using that technology.
Bridget Aires, thank you so much. The president of Get Smart Web Consulting, we thank you for your time. We'll be right back. Cox San Diego Connections taking a quick break. Welcome back to the Vine here in downtown San Diego. Our next guest is Austin Newdecker, the founder of Startup San Diego and Startup Week. Austin seems appropriate. We would talk to you here at the Vine, a place you visit frequently. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Founder of Startup San Diego. That's a big title and one that is looked upon very highly here at the Vine. Tell us a little bit about what you do and how you started all of this.
Sure, yeah. So I actually grew up in San Diego and spent quite a bit of my time starting companies on the East Coast and in Silicon Valley. But when I came back about 4 years ago, I looked out at the ecosystem, and it seemed to be like there was a lot of great activity going on in San Diego, but it felt like it was very siloed. There were a lot of little pockets going on, and they weren't really working together. They weren't talking, and there weren't a lot of resources shared in the community. So when we started Startup San Diego as a small group of entrepreneurs, we figured that we could help elevate the level of the ecosystem and build better resources for everyone to share with. So we're all, the organization is led by all volunteers. We all have our own startups. And we're just trying to build a community for which would be better for our own companies and for anyone else that wants to come to San Diego and build a startup.
You talk about that ecosystem, and I love where you've been. You've been on the East Coast, you've been in San Francisco, you've been in California. Where does San Diego rank when you look at ecosystems and you look at what we're doing to really embrace technology and where we're moving as far as our future is concerned?
Yeah, I think we should have an honest discussion about where San Diego lies, and still we're not anything compared to Silicon Valley or even New York City or Boston. But I think that what we can really be proud of and celebrate is the speed for which we're growing, right? So when I came here about 4 years ago, it seemed like there were 200-300 startups, and since that time, now I know of about 800 startups in the region. There seems to be a lot more excitement, some more investment going on. It seems to be the right time to come to San Diego and start a company.
So let's talk about Startup Week, one of the biggest events, I'm sure, of the year for you. What is Startup Week? Who is it for? And what are you most excited about this year?
Yeah, so Startup Week, we started in our first year that we started Startup San Diego, and it was our biggest event of the year. It started with just 10 events, trying to bring together the community to celebrate all the great stuff in San Diego, the cool companies that were being built, and even to just let loose a little bit and get to network with other entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And since then, it's doubled every year. Last year, there was 80 events, about 1,500 people. This next year, we're anticipating about 3,000 to 4,000 attendees. We'll probably have 120 different events. So all those events tend to be anything from workshops that are very tangible, like how do I advertise my business on Facebook, or how do I build a successful Kickstarter campaign, or how do I get a mobile app into the App Store, as well as some really fun social events, some big parties, and of course just other networking, brainstorming type ideas about how we can build a better community.
So this is pretty much for anybody and everybody. You could be 5, you could be 50, you could be 80, right?
Yeah, we are excited to have all comers come to this celebration of startups, but definitely it is focused on the people that are actually either already working on something in the startup space or are interested in getting involved, either as a founder, an employee, an investor, a service provider. All those people are welcome. Also this year, we are building out more of our track system. So last year, we had our first time when we split up those events into different tracks, and we had an idea track, a seed track, a growth track, and a developer track based on what stage your company was at. However, this year, we're going to repeat those tracks. They were very successful, as well as bring in some industry-specific tracks to celebrate what San Diego does so well. So we have a defense and cybersecurity track. We have a brew tech track to celebrate all the great breweries and stuff that is going on here. We have a design track. We have a developer track. We have a bi-national track, which is celebrating businesses that work across the border. And I'm probably forgetting one, but there's several.
That was a good amount, yeah. When you talk to students here in San Diego right now, what's your advice as far as how to embrace all the change we're seeing and really all the excitement we're seeing as well? What do you tell people right now that are, you know, in school and whatnot, trying to figure out what to do next?
Yeah, so I love doing outreach to students, especially some of the local colleges and universities that we have around San Diego. And so I have a couple different pieces of advice for them. The first one is really just to go out and do things, right? Because I think a lot of us get caught up in this analysis paralysis. You know, we think about all the different reasons why we should or shouldn't do something rather than trying something and learning from that experience. And I feel like modern entrepreneurship is all about making attempts and learning from it. And doing that in the fastest iteration that you can will give you the best outcome. So what I recommend to students is the ways to get involved is come out to an event like Startup Week, meet some of the cool companies in town, and if you're excited about one, basically raise your hand and say, I want to get involved, right? How can I help? Do you need me as an employee? Can I come and intern while I'm still at school? And just try to be plugged into the ecosystem so you can see exactly how these guys are getting stuff done.
Kind of put yourself out there a little bit more, right? Yeah. Anything else you want to add, Austin, about the excitement here in San Diego, about what you're doing about Startup Week?
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of great organizations all around town that have been here for a while. And so our contribution is really to be a connector or a hub for the ecosystem and kind of be the voice of the entrepreneur in that myriad of different voices in town. So everything that we do is really to, like I said, elevate that level of the ecosystem. So I definitely encourage people to come out to Startup Week. It's definitely one of the most fun things you can do for any entrepreneur. And we have some great events planned. One of my favorite events that's going to come up is the Startup Crawl, which we send out different groups of people, usually about 50 people per group, and we'll have probably about 6 different tracks around downtown, stopping at different startups, drinking a little beer along the way, and then ending up at an after party at the end of the night. So that's always a very popular event.
Yeah.
One of the most fun for me for the whole week.
Sure, it's a great way to connect with people and learn a little bit about everything that's happening here in San Diego. Austin, thank you so much for your time today. Founder of Startup San Diego, you have a lot on your calendar for the next few months, so we appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much.
Cox San Diego Connection comes right back after this quick break. Welcome back to the Vine here in downtown San Diego. Our next guest, Kris Michell, the CEO of the Downtown San Diego Partnership. Thank you so much for being here today, Kris.
Well, thank you for having me.
Seems appropriate that we're here at the Vine since this is a place that you visit here and there. Tell us a little bit about what you are doing right now with the San Diego Partnership and all the exciting things that are happening right now.
It is exciting. It's a great time to be in downtown, not only working but also living. But the Vine is emblematic of a lot of the programs we're working on. We are trying to create an ecosystem for the innovation economy to thrive. And so the Vine is one of those elements where companies can go, and you don't need your own office space. There are 5, 6, 7 companies here all working, trying to create the next big thing. And I'll tell you, they're going to do it.
Let's focus on this ecosystem because I love that term and I love what you guys are doing. I know we can't get into all the details because we would be here for probably a full day, but let's talk a little bit about your everyday job right now and how you are making this all come together.
Well, about 2 years ago, we authored a report, and it was called San Diego Innovates. And it was all the things we thought we should do to create an ecosystem for the innovation economy, startups, technology. And many of those things included, well, incubators, accelerators like we're in today, to really helping Startup Week survive and thrive in San Diego, along with maybe letting students at UCSD and San Diego State know that San Diego has a very, very vibrant technology economy, and you don't have to go to Silicon Valley for your job. You can stay right here in downtown San Diego and work. And if you don't like the first company, you can go to the second company. And so those are some of the things that we're working on.
One thing I like to ask people like yourself, when you look at San Diego right now, where do we stand on the map as far as technology? What should we be proud of right here in San Diego?
Well, when you take a look at Illumina, I mean, people always say, well, what's the next Google or Facebook? Well, it's Illumina, genome sequencing. I mean, that is the future. But software engineering is really changing the entire world. So think about it for a moment. Uber is the largest taxi company in the world, yet it owns no cars. Think about it. Airbnb is the largest hotel in the entire world, yet it doesn't own one hotel. Think about this. Alibaba They really are the largest retail economy, yet they don't own any products. So software is changing our world, disrupting our world. We have 111 startups in downtown San Diego, and most are in the software engineering company, disrupting other industries. And so it's those changes that are happening right now, and we're very excited about them.
Some excellent points there. Let's talk a little bit about how you guys are participating in Startup Week, because we're all talking about that. This is a very exciting event. Tell us about your involvement.
Well, I'm going to say 6 months ago, we hired a gentleman named Andy White, and he is our startup advocate. That is his title. And Andy comes to us from Las Vegas working with Tony Hsieh at Zappos, where they created this whole program called City as a Startup. They developed a $350 million fund to help really create the innovation economy in downtown Las Vegas. So Andy is bringing that thought concept to downtown San Diego. And so he is on the startup board. Startup Week is fantastic. It gives all of us a focus to say, wow, what are the new and really interesting companies? What are the hurdles that companies are facing? How can we help them overcome them? What more do we need? And so Startup Week is really that focus that we need every single year, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger each year.
Now there's a specific week, but how are startup events happening throughout the year? I mean, I'm sure that this is an ongoing thing for you guys.
Well, just think about it. It's happy hours. We do a lot of happy hours. One of the programs that I referenced earlier is we will bring students into downtown San Diego from, let's say, UCSD. So we have one this coming Friday. And the students have never been to downtown San Diego in the day, because we ask, okay, so how many have been to downtown San Diego in the day? And they, nobody raises their hand, but at night everybody raises their hand. And then what we do is we take them on a tech crawl. So it is showing office space in downtown of all the really creative companies like Underground Elephant and Classy and Mind Groove, all of these wonderful companies. And so they get to see what's available here in San Diego, and they say, we didn't know. Because we're not selling to the engineers that we're actually educating, and then they're leaving San Diego. You know, UCSD alone has more engineering students coming out of that university than Stanford and Berkeley combined. Right. So our goal is to keep them here in San Diego.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about what you like most about your job right now and the changes you see in the next 5-10 years right here in downtown San Diego.
Well, I love my job. So I love getting up every day. Of course, the best thing is my team. I've got the best team in the world. The changes, our goal is to have a university presence in downtown. All world-class downtowns have them, and I really believe we're going to have one soon. We are having a new circulator system that's going to start in June, and it's going to ramp up over the next 5 years, where we will have 50 vehicles out on the streets of downtown that are all electric, that you can call up like Uber, that will take someone from point A to point B, and it's free to the end user. So that is going to just change mobility and how we get in and around. We're all talking about maybe a sports and entertainment district, and that may be in downtown. We're also talking about Makers Quarter and the Idea District, makers. We have real makers in downtown. That is exploding. And the last thing I'd leave you with is that our downtown is more than just the 400 blocks that we call downtown. Downtown is the urban core. So we look at it from not only downtown, but Barrio and Logan and Golden Hill and South Park and all the rings around that are really creating to this innovation economy. And many of our employees live there. So it's pretty exciting.
So 2 keywords, stay tuned, right? Well, Kris, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time. So much to look forward to. And Startup Week San Diego, it's going to be a special one this year. Thank you so much, Kris. That concludes this episode of Cox San Diego Connection. I'm Courtney Dwyer. Thanks so much for watching. For more information, just go to our website, 4sd.com.